When you're never at home and you're always out, you get used to it. And then
1,000,000%.
it becomes kind of harder to be alone.
Yeah.
But every time I'm out, I'm like, wow, I wish I stayed in, or I didn't go clubbing on the Friday, considering I was going to Toronto the next day. Like, I wish I would have taken that time. But it's like, I have this like FOMO lately where I'm like, I don't want to miss out on anything. And I don't know if it comes with like being single now, but I just feel like every opportunity I don't want to miss. And
I think it is a single thing too, though. Chemical X.
Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Chemical X podcast. If you guys are like, is this Alessia? Is it not? It's because I got bangs, so I'm a whole different chick. But my name still goes by Alessia, if anyone's wondering.
Well, I got the bangs first, so it's been like, are you copying me?
Never, baby.
I guess you're a sheep and I'm a wolf. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and leave a comment down below.
If you guys are listening on Apple Music or Spotify, don't forget to rate us 5 stars, write a comment. You know the drill.
Yeah. So let's get into this episode. Honestly, I think it's actually the first time in I want to say 2 months that I actually have an update on my life.
Wow. I can't wait to hear this.
Proud of me for, doing something, I guess. It's very hard when you're coming back with these Euro trips and these Vegas, and I'm here like, yeah,
I went to the grocery store.
I put gas in my car, and that was a big one for me this week. But, I got a lot going on, guys. I got a lot going on.
Let's hear it.
Well, first of all, I'm in a snowsuit because my Shein order just came in. So now it's officially fall for me. I've been wearing summer clothes up until, this gigantic box came in and I said, refresh.
We love a good shipment.
Anything that comes in a box is
golden.
So I did my $400 Shein order. And like I said, I was waiting on my wardrobe.
Is that with the promo code or no promo code?
That was it was like $370 after promo code.
$370 after promo code?
Yeah.
You're allowed to round up. It was
like $4 something before promo code. So I got $400 worth of stuff.
Why am I
with my mom?
That's a lot for Shein.
No,
that's a whole wardrobe.
No, you don't understand. I got my box and I was like, I need to go. Like, I opened it and the way everything is packed, you can't really see what's in the box because they're all in their like individual baggies.
Right.
And what is this, drugs? And I opened the box and I honestly went and I was looking at some of the colors and I was like, I actually don't remember. Like, I had to go on my order and say, what did I get? Because I don't have the energy to start opening every single.
That's happened to me too. Or I'm like, what the fuck did I even order?
And I'm keeping them all in the bags because I'm telling myself I'm going to do a TikTok haul. And slowly, one piece is coming out at a time. And I'm going, maybe I'm going to wear this tonight. Anyways, guys, so one piece came out of the box and it's this one. But no, I was so excited to get my Shein order.
And I'm a snowman, so
basically the Michelin man. Too many tires today. So we'll get into the Michelin man later. So I'm waiting for my package and it's very like the meme, like as soon as you click order, you're waiting at your window saying, where's my package? For sure. So I finally get the notification that my package, because DHL does that. They send you a notification saying like your package is out for delivery.
Veronica, don't skip a step. What do they first send you?
They say you owe us $200
duties. Like I fucking hate that. It's like
you're always like, splurge. I was like already upset with my $400 spend, and then
they throw
DHL always comes around and says,
and you owe us more.
You always say like, maybe this time I won't, because there's always that one time that you don't get charged.
And I tell you what the trick is: when you order $400, you always get that duty fee.
You're getting charged.
It's
baby.
only when you order like I think
$15
under $100 that they kind of just normally pass it as a regular shipment, and sometimes it can slide by.
Yeah,
but not with our orders.
Almighty. Well, Shein before you didn't have to pay duties, and I was living for it.
It's new. I'm not into it.
I'm not into it at all. I don't know why I waited till after that to make my
Shein is not as cheap as it used to be now.
I'm gonna be honest. Les prix, ils ont élevé. But the quality, I have to say, pretty good. Went up as well. Anyways, So I get the best email that we're all waiting for, and it's your package is out for delivery. And that's the email that like you plan your day around that email. Like you get that email and suddenly you're canceling appointments you've had for 2 months because you want to be at the door for this package. And it doesn't even matter that I don't need the clothes right away. I just want it the day that I could get it.
Yep.
So it was Thanksgiving morning, and I was like, I didn't even know that they did shipments on Thanksgiving. Like, aren't you bitches supposed to be closed? But I'm here for it. I won't complain. So it's 11 a.m. and I have nothing to do all day. Like, I just had some work to do. So I was like, beautiful. Like, what a perfect day for me to get this shipment. So I'm waiting all day, and as I've said in the past, I have the worst luck when it comes to shipments. It's either they decide they're not going to ring my doorbell, or the minute that I go in the shower, they're ringing at the door. Like anything that could go wrong with a shipment, it happens to me. So I was like, this is not happening today. Like I was looking out the window to make sure they wouldn't do the fucking ding dong ditch. Like I was like, bitch, I'm ready for this package. So I wait all day, and now it's 5 o'clock, and I'm like, my package is not here, and I'm fucking pissed. And my boyfriend calls me. He's like, okay, we're going to eat dinner at my mom's house for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm like, okay, I guess like, cause it's 5:30, 5 o'clock. I'm probably not getting my shipment. So I'm just gonna go. And I knew deep down in my heart that the second I would start my car, that DHL truck was waiting at the corner just to come and drop it. Like I knew it. I just knew I was gonna get the we attempted delivery. So I was like, you're like stalling a bit. You're like,
and you didn't do the sign for it and it goes to your door?
Well, the problem is like you can't, like I.
The problem is I don't trust
anywhere.
the people, in my building.
Yeah, that's the problem. But also you can't get in the front door. So like they're not going to leave it outside. Are you kidding me? Somebody's going to go, beauty, new fall wardrobe.
Right.
So like there's nowhere really to put it at my house. So I have to be there. And anyway, so I'm like, I just know the second I close my eyes, the truck is coming. So I'm stalling. Then I'm like, hey, fuck, I really need to go. So I get in my car and I'm driving. And at this point, I'm like 3 streets away. And in my head, I'm like manifesting, like I'm gonna catch the truck as soon as I leave. I'm gonna catch the truck. I'm gonna manifest that it's there before I leave. I don't see the truck. Anyways, I'm 3 streets away and I'm going to the gas station, and then I see a DHL truck. And I'm like, okay, what are the chances that this DHL truck is here at this time and I still didn't get my package yet? What are the chances that my package is in that truck? And like, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be a loser and pull over the fucking DHL truck and say, give me my package. But then I'm like, I'm also late, so I don't have time to drive all the way back home and wait to see if it's him, you know? So I'm like, let me put gas. And as I'm putting gas, I'm like, I can't let this opportunity slide away. So I finish putting gas and I drive back to where I saw the truck, and he's still there. And he's just getting out of his truck. So I did, what any person would be that's desperate for a package would do. And I got out of my car and I said,
excuse me,
sir, excuse me. And he was like, like with the earphones too, like, what? And I was like, look, I know it's going to sound really weird, but I'm like, I just left my house and I'm kind of waiting on a package. Do you think you have it in your truck? He was like, honestly, like, this has never happened.
He's like, I don't get paid. He's like, I don't get paid enough
like,
for this.
Babe, like, he's like, what street you live on? So I tell him my street, and he's like, what's the address? And I tell him the address. I'm like, it's like down the street. I'm trying to make it seem like he was about to be at my door anyways. He's like, that's not down the street. He's like, that's all the way down there. I'm like, down the street. He's like, anyways, he comes back out. He goes, it's your lucky day. I have your package. I'm like, no. And I'm expecting him to say this is against policy. So, if the DHL boss of this guy is listening, he didn't give it to me, I swear. He gave it to me. And
wow.
I was like, wow, I have never done this in my life. And chances are I will do it again because I know it works. And I'm just really happy I got my package.
Oh my God. This is the update on your life?
Well, I just had to say, like, never in my life did I fucking hold the phone, stop the car. And I said, I'm getting this fucking package.
Jesus.
And I manifested my,
Shein I don't know if it's manifested. I think it's you held a gun to his head and you said, give me my package.
I drove around the block looking for that yellow truck.
But you know what? I think you saved them time in the end too.
I think he was actually happy. He said,
if all his clients were like you, I think he'd finish his job so much sooner and be able to tell boss he finished.
This is the type of thing, though, that you leave and you say, I had this one fucking stupid bitch come up to me. Like, it was just a thing where I said, how bad do I want this package? Put my pride aside. And then the kicker is, I didn't open it for a whole 48 hours. So
Could you have waited?
Could I have waited? I could have. Anyway, so that's not the update of my life, but I just thought I should share that I chased down a DHL truck. And I got my package.
So I just actually made an order on Shein, and then 3 days after I made an order on Shein, I also realized that I'm making my Halloween costumes because I'm actually going to New York for Halloween. And I had to make another one right after I made one, just, you know, to pay again.
Do you pay for this side of the seat?
No, I don't. I pay for 50%. Actually. And I made another order like 3 days after I had already made one. And when I had to, guys, I'm that girl who's like, I don't want a Halloween costume like everybody else. So I'm going to do what I always do and try and recreate looks and make them myself.
It ends up being $1,600.
It ends up always being way more than just going to the goddamn Halloween store and just buying a fucking costume.
People walk into the Halloween store and say, fuck, $80 for a costume. I promise you, make your own costume. I literally double dog
make your own costume, and just the rhinestones will cost you
just
$300.
The rhinestones at Dollarama, though.
No.
Literally one Dollarama trip, you're at $80.
Just to start getting the hot glue gun, the glue, you're at $35.
No. It's crazy.
Then you need fabric, you need whatever you need. You're spending time
and then
working on it.
The worst part is it never becomes exactly what you want. So then you need at this point, you're like, I put so much work into it that I'm just going to piece the extra money to like get it to the level that I need it to be. And then you start buying the exact, anyways.
Yeah. And then suddenly you're at $1,000 on a, you know, DIY and DIY. And anyway, so that's where I'm at.
And all to what?
And I was like,
stand
you know
outside
what?
the club and get a pic.
Shein's not expensive. Like, it's fine. I'll just get all the little stuff there. And the total was almost $200.
It's out of control.
And guys, I'm getting all crumbs. Like, I'm getting...
No, you're getting IKEA. You have to make it yourself.
It's crazy. And I'm like, everything is dependent on all the things. So, like, one thing goes wrong and everything is off.
And you're back at square one.
It's crazy.
And that's how a costume ends up being $1,000.
No, actually.
And like I said, you're doing all this sweat, blood, and tears, and you're standing outside the club and getting an Insta.
And then you have like threads of hot glue gun because it didn't stick properly.
I'll always remember the Halloween that I had spray paint all over my hands because I spray painted the clothes silver, and you're not supposed to spray paint clothes.
It's crazy. Thank God we enjoy doing it though already. I swear, I rather, as weird as this sounds, spend more money and make it myself because I just feel like it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, actually, the most exciting thing about Halloween is like making the costume, discovering it, like putting it together.
So how do you feel this year that it's the 1 year you didn't make it yourself?
I mean, I know that I get to make my boyfriend's part of the costume, but then again, the 1 year I plan everything out, and where am I going? I'm going nowhere. Halloween, DIY.
Yeah. I think what's hard for me is that this is the first year I'm doing New York for Halloween. I've never done that. So I'm going with one of my good friends. So I don't know, like, is Halloween on the Sunday? Because Halloween falls on Sunday this year. So do I need my best sick DIY outfit on the Sunday? Or is Saturday going to be more the vibe?
Can I be honest with you?
Is it Friday?
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
Whichever day you choose, it's gonna be the wrong one.
100%.
Like I'm not even you could do all this math on which day and which party, and I promise you it's gonna be the house party at the Dep. That's gonna be the most lit one.
The most fun night is gonna be the night I decide to just be a cat because I have no more options.
Every Halloween night that I've had the most fun, it's literally with my leopard ears, and I said,
it's just insane. So now I'm like, I'm not realizing how expensive it is to make 3 costumes. So I'm making 2, bought 1. It's a whole disaster. I'll keep you guys updated on that whole story and my costumes. I'll probably do a YouTube video on it.
YouTube video.
Yeah. I choose where I want to speed up.
Yeah. Somebody called me a motor mouth, actually. They were like, I say literally because of Alessia. Veronica can't copy her because she's a motor mouth. I was like, honestly, not going to lie, true. But I wanted to mention, Alessia sends me these like sick angel wings, like these big black angel wings, like they're stunning, 100%. Right? 100%. And she's like, should I do this like for one night? I said, look, you want my honest opinion? They're fucking nice. But do you want to be the girl in the club that everyone's
tackling
going,
down
fucking bitch, you
No,
just
no,
dropped
literally.
my drink.
Basically, I'll be tackling down the football team in the club.
You're the girl,
and I'm in New
everyone
York. Like
hates.
nobody knows me. Like I don't need to
Yeah.
start fights with random bitches. I need to make friends.
Yeah, you're ready to get beat up with
hun-
those wings. I would beat you up.
And
That's Target though. Like somebody who's wearing anything that does this, you're like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
So I'm not somebody to get in fights with girls at clubs, but I feel like if there was one night a year that I would get
With
in a
those
fight,
wings.
it's 100% Halloween. Because it's like you spend so much time on your costume, like
You start acting the
especially
personality.
me who's making it from scratch. It's like every rhinestone is personal here, you know.
And like also back to the wings, there's nothing more embarrassing than like showing up. Like it's one thing to dress up. Like there's something
Mean Girls reference.
there's something like it's fun to dress up, but it's still always awkward to show up to a party where you're like the most dressed or like some people didn't dress up, but nothing's more embarrassing. Like that point you start like taking off pieces of your costumes, like wiping off like the fucking neon eyeshadow you put on, but you can't hide wings.
No.
When you're walking down the street, they see you from 2 avenues away, those bazookas on your back.
It's crazy. I was even thinking about making wings. So thank God I didn't go there because to get the wings that I was trying to have were, you know, I had to buy a regular wing and then start incorporating like huge feathers. I was like, listen, not this year.
It's not. I went, one of our close friends, we did like Halloween together at a club, and he had like this kind of like wing, like I don't want to say wingsuit, but it was almost like a football tackle like thing. It looked like that, but it was like with feathers and stuff. We're at the club
You're
and like
sweating.
he was
sweating.
topless under, and it was the football tackle. Doosh, doosh. Everyone was hating him. The thing breaks. He ends up topless in the club on Halloween, and then we got kicked out.
Because you can't be shirtless
Because you can't be shirtless
in a club.
So if that's any other reason to not buy wings for Halloween, I just gave you 3.
Wow.
So
I will say last thing about Halloween is that I'm really stressed because I'm buying things where I'm just assuming it's gonna work, and like I just got my gloves and they're fucking horrible. I spent $50 on them because I wanted to be original. I wanted patent instead of regular gloves, and I spent the $50 on the gloves that I'm no longer gonna wear, and I still have to go buy the other gloves. It's just
that, like I said, $1,600.
sometimes just stick to what you know.
1,600, guys, 1,600.
And plus, there's the New York trip. There's the flight. There's the hotel. It's like I can't go
There's the
all
Uber
out for
from-
Halloween and then start budgeting on my costumes. So, guys,
Halloween is actually the most expensive time of year. I realize.
yeah, I'm
For
starting to
somebody
realize
who like
that.
cares. Mm-hmm. And I realized like why did I have to be like this? Couldn't I like I don't know Easter? Like I don't know.
Oh my god.
I like all holidays. Anyways, no, I'm still excited for Halloween, even though, you know, I'm gonna be doing nothing. With
Well,
my
you're
$200
working in the
costume.
club now, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
Are you guys
so
doing like club outfits?
I don't have the education to be able to tell you the answer to that question. But first off, I just want to say I got a new job, which I know you're thinking, Veronica, but you have 16 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I have 17.
What's 16 without 17?
You know what I mean? So I have another job and I'm back in the nightlife, which is funny because the entire duration of this podcast, I have never actually worked in a club, even though I've like spoken about it, but like,
What?
right? So isn't that crazy? So now I'm back to being
You're back and you're
a
going to have
club
bags
hoe.
under your eyes now because
I can't wait.
You are going to be on some sleepless nights.
I was like, every time you don't do something for a long time, you're kind of like, do I still know how to, like, I was very
Yeah.
like, how do you open a bottle? And I
Let
was
me tell you, it comes back real quick.
No, guys, I took 1 vodka shot. Honestly, you know what? I took 1 bottle shot and suddenly it was like, you know, in Sailor Moon when she starts like spinning around, like that was like the whole getting back into my body. Like I was like, oh, suddenly I was like that club waitress all over again. It just rushed into my veins and I was going, bottle shots. Yeah. Anyways, it was a good time. Honestly, I had a blast.
Did you get a lot of tip doing that?
I mean, you know, I know how to make tips. I realized the best ways and well, actually,
It's not with my voice. It's with twerking.
actually, I was a hyena, guys. My first night. Just imagine like somebody who's never like who's been starving
Was the
for
first
2
night
years.
the night I came
Yeah.
for you? Okay.
I don't know if I was hyena like while you were there because you were there for a short period of time, but let me tell you, I got hyena. Like I got like when I say hyena, I'm talking like like just annoying. But I was having a blast. I was like a starved person. I was so excited to just have like, not to say attention, but like in the club, it's very like high energy and you're talking to so many people. And initially,
It's kind of like a rush.
Like way back when I had spoken about how it was really hard for me to go from like always constantly talking to a million people, high energy, like that adrenaline of like so much attention.
To only talking to me on this podcast.
To only talking to you and my boyfriend. Like, crazy. So I was very excited to be back in the action. And actually, there was only one person who didn't like me that night. And sometimes I realize that not everybody gets my humor. And somebody was like, oh, like this guy's looking for a waitress. So I don't know why, I'm such a loser. Anyways, he pulls me, he's like, oh, are you the waitress? And I'm like, no, I'm the comedian that they hired for the night. And then he's like, okay, well, do something funny and go find me a waitress. And I was like, wasn't ready for that. Like, I was like, okay, I'm joking. Like, what the hell? And then I was shy. And then I took a shot and then I forgot. And then I came back into hyena mode. Anyways, though, it was
so really safe to say that's not where she got most of her tips.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Safe to say that's probably the guy who tipped me 15%.
But what's like? Wow, that guy was nice. He left me a good tip. What's that? Is that 20%, 22%?
So actually, like in club standard,
it's
usually
18.
It's 18. At our club, they want to make it like, and most clubs actually also do like 20%. Like some places,
or they
don't
put like
allow
20% ahead of the 18 when it's time to click on the machine, so that they're letting you know.
Well, speaking of tipping, I mean, they want to do 20%, and some clubs will actually not allow you to tip 15%. Like some clubs will be like, you have to, like, it's like, because I'm talking like a high-end nightclubs, like it's like the point, like you're coming to spend money, you're expected to give a nice tip. I always talk about this time at Catch. Remember when we went to Catch?
Yeah.
No, wait, were you there?
No.
No, okay, I went to Catch in LA. And the guy comes with our bill and he's like, shows us the bill on his iPad. And we're there like, okay, this is $1,200. And then he's like, did you enjoy the service? And we're like, yeah, thank you so much. He goes, perfect, 20%. We were like, just like people will just assume like for a nice place, you're going to tip 20%. You have the money to come, tip 20%.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I'm on the other end of the stick, it's a little more painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically they were saying like, you know, if you want, you can just add the 20% like that and give it to them. But I'm like, that's how I'm gonna end up getting beat up. Like when somebody says, actually, what the fuck, you put 20%? Like I can't. I have too much anxiety for that. Like, but some girls will go and they'll say, give me. And I guess that's why they're better earners than me. So if that's a tip, I guess if you want to be a waitress, you know, have some balls. Use Manscaped. Anyways, I mean, apart from my new job, I actually had 10 other jobs this week, and all leading up, like a lot of bad things happen within this week, all leading up to like one big bad thing.
It all started with the Big Bang.
I'm the Big Bang. So I got hired for like a couple of photo shoots. Like I said, everything happened to me at the same time. So I started my new job. I had 2 huge photo shoots that I had to do the same weekend. It was very no sleep, another shoot, no sleep, at the club, no sleep. So
next club,
literally bus, plane. So it was very hectic. And I went to rent a camera because I was like, fuck it. I love my work. I'm so professional. I want it to be nicer quality. So I'm like, I'm going to take out of my own profit and go rent a camera because I care so much about my product. I'm a fucking idiot, guys. If you want to take anything from this, I'm a loser. So I go rent a camera.
Gets 3 other jobs because of this, because you love your work.
Yeah, because I'm so passionate. So I wish I could be one of those people that didn't care, honestly. They always win.
Not in the long run. I'm trying to tell you what you're doing.
Yeah, I know, but it was very like... So I went to I went to rent a camera, and I had called, like I had initially rented it for 1 day, but then 2 days later I had another shoot. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see if they can like extend it and I could pick it up or whatever. So I called them and they were like, oh, well, the problem is like we're closed on Sunday and then we're also closed on Monday for Thanksgiving. And I was like, okay, well, I needed the camera for Sunday. So I was like, okay, well, it's not my problem. Like, can I, you know, like I'm not paying 2 extra days because you guys are closed. And they were like, okay, like we'll make the exception. Come and pick it up Tuesday and then bring it back. Sorry, come and pick it up Thursday and then bring it back on Tuesday morning. And I was like, amazing, because this place they're usually fucking assholes. So I was like, okay, I take back every bad thing I ever said about them. Now we're besties. Now we're on good terms. I'm so excited. And I was like, I'm getting a deal. Who wants to organize a shoot because I have this camera for extra? So So I go pick up the camera the next morning for my shoot that I confirmed. They made the contract and everything. And I get there and the guy's like, okay, you have it till this time. The guy beside him, I guess the manager, looks over. He goes, no, she has to pay for an extra day. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. Like, stay in your lane. Like, don't peek on my shit. Like, can I help you?
Also, like, sorry, you already said yes.
Yeah, like, sorry, the contract literally says. So it was a very, like, I don't want to say that I was a Karen because actually I was in the right. But, like, I never get mad at people. But I was like, what the fuck? Like, they're acting like I'm lying when the contract literally says the price and for how long. They make a whole thing. I'm late for my shoot because they made a whole deal. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I said, I'm going to bring back the camera and then I'm going to come and pick it up tomorrow. I don't care if that's what it's going to take because I'm not paying a fucking extra day.
Yeah.
So they're like, fine. So I bring back the camera the next day, but like, I'm pissed. Every extra kilometer of gas that I need to spend for these people because they did.
But what was the difference, like, for you to even bring it back?
There was no difference because they couldn't even rent it out. It was
you
just
were picking it up the next morning.
Exactly. So it was just the principle that I couldn't have it. I had to pay an extra day if it would. I had to.
But you still paid an extra day then if you went back to get it.
Well, I paid for 2 days, but they wanted me to pay for 3 days. But I was like, no. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they made me come back the next day just to pick it up the day after, which they couldn't even have rented it in between. So 0-star reviews on Google. So I go back the next day and like I said, I'm already already through all this process. I'm thinking of my Google review that I'm gonna write to them because I'm pissed. So I get back the next day.
You know you're really mad when you take the time to write a Google review.
Yeah, that's like, especially like I never write Google reviews and
you're a Karen.
I'm taking notes here. Like anything they're doing wrong, I'm going, okay. Didn't have hand sanitizer in the front. So I bring back the camera. Whatever, it's fine. And then I go back the next day to pick it up. And they're like, sorry, we don't have your reservation. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, you actually have 2 reservations because I made an initial one and then you fucking canceled it. And then I had to make a different one. Mm-hmm. So he's like, sorry, like I actually don't have the reservation for this camera and lens. And I was like, listen to me. Like, you better go find something because if I leave this establishment without a fucking camera, I will like I did this for you guys.
Were you getting mad?
Well, like I'm acting like I got so
yeah, you're
pissed,
acting like a big shot now.
but I was not. I was like, oh, tu as pas le contraire? Okay. Like I can't get mad at people, but I was pretty pissed though. I was like, what do you mean? The problem is I feel bad yelling at people that it's not their fault.
Yeah,
you know. But anyway, so he's like, well, they must have destroyed the contract. I'm like, bah. And then he's like, let me see if I have it available. I'm like, there's no let me see. Like, I don't care if somebody rented it. You're going to pick up the camera.
Yeah.
Whoever rented it because I fucking rented this camera. So by chance, thank God they still had my camera, but didn't make things better because you still don't have my fucking reservation. So I get the camera and I'm pissed. I'm just adding to this list of fucking Google review spark notes. Like I'm ready to make this essay, like beginning, middle, and conclusion. So I'm pissed. I pick up the camera and I bring it to my shoot. All goes well. We're all good. And then this morning, I had to bring the camera back. And like I said, every millimeter of gas, I'm pissed. And last night, I realized when I went to go make sure everything was in the camera bag that I was missing the charger and the battery. And I'm like, okay. Like,
that's annoying.
That's like, now it's my fault. Now I'm coming back with a $400 fee because I'm missing half the camera. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, where did I leave it? Turns out I forgot the camera and the battery at the studio. So now I need to return this camera before a certain time or I get charged for another day. The charge that I've been avoiding is now going to be my fault. So I realized that the camera and the charger is at a fucking whole nother location. So I call the girl. She's like, yeah, I found it, you know. I rush there. I'm picking up because now I'm on a time frame. You need to bring it back before a certain time or you get charged for the full day. I get the battery and I'm like, okay, phew, like, thank God. And I'm like, what's going to be more, the charge for the whole day or the charge for me missing the battery, you know? Like, which one is it? So I'm on my way back and I'm like, just like, I know I'm going to make it there on time. I'm like, bitch, you thought, okay? I'm driving. I start going, da-dong, 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 da-dong. And I'm like, that's funny. This road is flat. For the first time actually on a road in Montreal, the road was flat. So I'm like, why is my car making that sound? So I pull over and I'm like, this better just be like, I didn't see the bump in the road. Like, it's not actually my car. I get out, guys, and like I had no choice but to park. Like, I was on the highway, so like I pulled over at the first kind of exit. So like
Like,
I'm
you should be
blocking the
grateful you were
street.
even able to pull over before you got
Like,
stuck in the middle.
Literally. So I pull over, I get out of my car, and I'm not talking flat tire. I'm talking ripped, blowout. My tire is melted. I'm like, no.
They really say, though, when shit goes bad, it's everything at the same time.
Everything at the
and
same
when good
time.
things happen, it's everything at the same time.
And you know what? Who I think it is? I think it's the fucking photography store that said, "Pitch, you thought you were gonna make it." Pow! Flat tire. It's probably them who slashed my tires when I went to pick up the camera the next day.
No doubt.
No doubt. So guys, and the GPS, just so you guys know like how close the GPS said 6 minutes away. I was 6 minutes to the camera store, okay?
Now you have to wonder if you take an Uber,
Do I make it? But
is
I
it cheaper
would've-
than the day?
I would have taken the Uber. However, the way like I pulled over, I was on a street, like I was in a bus lane. There was no, and it was the point where
You were getting towed if you left it there.
yeah, and I.
But maybe that's best case scenario. With a flat tire.
Go to the garage at the same
Honestly,
time.
just handle it.
Thanks, babe. I love Halloween, and it's not just because we get to dress slutty and it's excusable, but I actually like scary things. Like I like being scared.
So you love haunted houses.
Growing up, I loved haunted houses, but now it's been like, when you don't do something for a while, it's a bit like,
Yeah.
But I rarely find them scary, actually. But you know what is really scary?
What's scary?
When you're about to go down on a guy and you come to a bush.
Yeah. There's already so many things a girl has to worry about when she's going down on a guy, like size, is it going to smell? We don't need any extra problems.
Absolutely not. And you know how we get rid of this problem in particular?
How do we?
We visit manscaped.com and we check out their wonderful extensive collection of male grooming tools.
Ooh.
Tools, very Halloween of me. Guys, check out Manscaped. They're the best in below the waist grooming for men. You can pick up a Weed Whacker 4.0 for your pesky nose and ear hairs, or the Lawnmower 4.0 for that bush down there. But whatever it is you need, we got a discount for you.
We always have a discount code. So guys, use our discount code ChemicalX at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order. Anything on the website, you can get it there on www.manscaped.com, and free shipping. That's ChemicalX at checkout for 20% off and free shipping.
So go check them out.
Say trick or treat with your new Halloweeny.
As usual, our lighting is on point.
Veronica, you could just say we look amazing.
We look amazing. And I would say like at least a good like 22% is because of our neon lights that give us that glow.
Like 60% is definitely makeup.
Yeah.
But the other 20...
Don't start adding in equations here because I'm not going to get them.
I'm not going to be good in math on the spot.
And I don't need comments later saying, you fucking idiot. It's actually
60 plus 22 is not 100. It's actually 82.
That was quick math. I would have not felt comfortable. Anyway, speaking of our, 22%, we thank Neonific for that. So thank you for the extra points of beauty, Neonific.
Guys, it's neon signs. So as you can see in our amazing setup, we have neon signs that have been custom made for us. And we've already taken some that are pre-made. So if you can see Chemical X, that's, our podcast. That's us. So we got that made to the size we wanted and the color we wanted. So just DM them, message them, DM them on Instagram. Why not? And tell them what you want, and they can for sure make it for you. And if you want something already pre-made to, add anywhere, then you can also do that. So we have a discount code for you as usual.
And you can get 10% off plus free shipping if you use our code ChemicalX at checkout. So head over to neonific.ca and spice up light up your life. But I was pulled over on the side of the road, and it's like once you saw the damage, you couldn't drive another meter. You know what I mean? It's like I had to stay exactly where I was, or I was driving on a rim.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck my life. And then I'm thinking like, can I leave my car here? Can I Uber there and bring it? So I'm freaking out. I call CAA and they're like, yeah, no problem. We're going to tow your car for you. They're like, it's a 90-minute wait. I'm like, perfect. So there's my day fee. And then I call my sister and I'm like, look, can you come to me, pick up the camera and bring it back? Because I'm like, I was ready to call the police to bring this camera back. Like, I will not let the camera store win. So I call my sister and I'm like, can you come and bring it back? She's like, okay, no problem. I call the camera store.
Sister goals.
Literally. Whoa, I babysit a fucking child every week.
Yeah.
Shows me a few. So I call the camera store and they're chill. They're like, yeah, it's okay that you're going to be late. Because I'm like, I have a fucking flat tire. But why does flat tire always sound like a fake excuse? Tell me you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You call somebody and say, I have a flat tire.
You have a flat tire now the second you have to bring it back?
Yeah, the second that you're about to get late fees, you have a flat. Believable.
Okay, wait, so your sister comes?
Yes. My sister is like coming. And at this point, the CA and my sister are arriving at the same time. So I'm like, well, fucking, what was the point of that? So the CA guy gets there at the legit exact time that my sister gets there, okay? The guy gets out of the car and it's like a young guy, like speaking like, you know, I can hear him in an Italian accent. So I'm like, okay, like
Was he hot?
No, he was, okay, now I'm like, just in case he's watching, remove. Poor guy. Let's cut this part. Anyways, the guy comes out, okay? And he's like super friendly. He's like, how did this happen to your car? And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. It was the camera store who slashed my tires.
Like, so do what you came here to do. Fix it.
No, okay, it gets better. My sister's behind it. Now the CA truck is blocking the street. My sister's behind and she's honking at me. Hurry up. And I'm like, hurry up what? Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, 2 minutes. He's like, I just need to remove something on the back of my truck. I look, I see, and I'm not exaggerating, minimum 250 apples on the back of his truck. Bags of apples on the back of a CA truck. And I'm like, what? Oranges? He's like, no, apples for my mom. I'm like, anyways, get my I don't have time in my life for whatever's going on here. So I'm like, fuck it, take my fucking car.
Apple picking season.
Like, what? Anyways, I guess good time to have a CA truck when you're going apple picking. Fuck.
Well, now we know what those CAs really do when they tell you 90 minutes.
90 minutes, he was in the trees. No wonder. He was taking his last bucket. So, anyways, I give him the car. My sister's yelling at me. We go to the camera store. She drives me home. And as she's driving me home, she goes, you know, it's funny when I came to pick up my dog, when I came to pick up Milo yesterday, my friend looked at your car and said, she has a flat tire. But by the time I got up to your stairs, I forgot to tell you. I said, I wish you never told me that.
That's like,
what the fuck? So
that's like, I knew you would go on the worst date because I know everything about him and what he's done with every other girl. But
and I let you do it.
I forgot to tell you, babe, but have fun.
No. And you had the audacity to scream at me because it wasn't fast enough. Bitch, you gave me this flat tire. Are you kidding me?
Honesty and inconsiderate.
Anyways, guys, just to wrap things up, I had the worst day. And then I had posted a story of, you know, my tire blown up. And that's when it starts, you know, like everybody, like, what kind of BMW you have? Like, come to my garage, like we could fix it. And I'm just like, look, I don't have time for, like, I have girls in my DM saying, babe, like, your tire is finished. You should really change it. I'm like, you thought what? You thought that I was going to put a Band-Aid? Like, the tire was ripped open. Like, I'm obviously getting a new tire. Like, no. Babe, those tires are finished. And I'm like, no. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And then I have every mechanic in Montreal telling me, come see me at Autoroute Laval. And I'm like, leave me alone. Okay? The best is, I get home and I'm just, like, looking through my DMs. And I see somebody said, wow, the towing must have took a long time. And I'm like, wow, that's fucking accurate. It did take a long time. How did he know? I click on the profile. Isn't it the fucking CAA driver, Apple guy?
No.
I was like, no. Like, honestly, no. I'm never posting anything ever again.
Oh, wait, so he was following you this whole time?
So then I'm like, wait. Did he just find me because I gave my name? You know, like how sometimes people do that? And I see he follows me. So I go check in my recent follows and this ain't recent. So not only he probably saw my name come up and went, this girl, she could wait a little while. I got more apples to pick. This fucking bitch. And
or he said, I know that girl. I'm going to be the one to take that gig.
Put it in sport. Zoom. Oh. No wonder he came out so confidenzo out of that car.
Oh my God.
How'd you get that, huh? I'm like, so you knew me.
He watches so he watches the podcast.
Well, hey, how's them apples?
How do you like them apples?
So I was just like, honestly, I'm shutting my phone for the day. I'm over it. But
There's nothing like people who want to like tell you what's up. So you actually gave me Krispy Kreme donuts like maybe like 3 weeks ago. And she was like, no, Alessia, like, please take them or I'm going to throw them out. And I'm like, well, if you're going to throw them out, then I'll definitely take the Krispy Kreme donuts, a whole dozen. Are you kidding me? Like, I'll devour those.
Which, by the way, my boyfriend said the next day, where's the Krispy Kremes? I said, I give them.
And I even said, no, don't. You're going to eat them. David's going to eat them. You're like, no. Allah, if you don't take them, the threats, you know? Like, if you don't take them, I'm throwing them out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, if you're going to throw them, then I will take them.
Like, you're pulling my leg.
So then I had put them in my car and it was a really like hot sunny day. And then I never ended up taking my car. My car stayed there for like, I want to say 1 day because it sounds more responsible, but I think it was 2. And then when I got back to my car and I opened the door, it smelled so fucking nasty because it's like almost like molded at this point. And like
I was thinking maybe it'd be like a vanilla scented air freshener.
You would think. Anyways, I'm still dealing with that whole situation because the smell has not gone. I put air fresheners, nothing's working. So I did like a whole story on my Instagram saying how I cannot get rid of the smell. And I'm like, what can I do if anybody has any products? And people are just bashing me in those DMs. They're like, get a new car. Oh, okay. No problem. You paying? Like you're getting it? Or burn your car and claim it under insurance. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
That's what happens when you ask for advice. Like, people give it to you, but it's very like, shut the fuck up.
I got like 2 people who actually gave me a tip. I'm like, thank you. But people are so quick to be like.
No. But honestly, the DM request is the most hilarious place. I had posted a while ago my car breaking down and CA. You know, me and CA were tight.
Oh,
no wonder the guy follows me. I'm a regular on this system.
I'm a regular on CA too.
So I remember I had posted that and somebody was like, well, you know, if you can't afford the top of like a lease on a new BMW, then you shouldn't have one at all or something like that. I was like, shut up. Me. And then also
he probably drives a Honda.
At the garage, the guy like took out my, I don't know if I should be saying this, but he took out like this like anti-theft screw on my tires. He was like, oh, whatever. He was like, I had to remove it. I was like, what does it do? He's like, oh, it's like an anti-theft. But he's like, don't worry, no one's stealing your car. I was like, what's with these insults? I'm like, leave me alone. Like, you're like, does anyone want to buy me a car?
No. But actually,
like, you guys, you have a lot to say, but I want to see what you're driving.
No, literally. And somebody wrote to me, get a new car. And I was like, literally, like, buy me one. Like, actually, No, but if you're going to act like a big shot, then put your money where your mouth is, you know?
$1 million. But just a side note, what I do want to say, though, when I realized that this guy follows me, there's always something so weird about realizing that somebody knows you already when they
I have
meet
a story
you.
for you right now, actually, that happened today.
But like somebody that you don't know that they know who you are. So you're there. I'm butt ugly. Like I was rushing, ready to get to this photo store. And I don't know, I was meeting somebody that sees me 10 out of 10 on my Instagram. Like, guys, I wasn't wearing a bra. So just to give you a gist. And he's probably
didn't look like they look right now, let's just say.
He probably rushed over and then said, well, I rushed over to see you're a catfish.
No wonder he was picking the apples.
Yeah.
Veronica, he already knew.
I'll take my fucking time.
I was at lunch today and I was ordering a steak sandwich with cheese and caramelized onions, you know, how I like it. And there was actually a cutie working at the counter and I'm like, hi, I'm here to order. And anyways, he had my ex's name, so it just was never going to work.
Well, why? You have a problem with saying different names in bed. At least, you know, you already practiced this one.
You're right. It would come naturally.
It would come naturally.
Crazy.
Well, it would come naturally. Okay, my boyfriend did not like that joke. I guess he's disappointed. He went...
He's disappointed in your whole week. You were annoying to him.
By the way, the Michelin Man joke.
He had to hear all these stories. He's over you.
He lived them. He's the one that I call and say, babe, my tire. What do I do?
He's like, I don't care. Figure it out.
He's like, I'm not worried.
I have my own problems. So I was at the cash today and I ordered a sandwich and I was the only one really there. So like nobody's asking for like your name or anything.
Mm-hmm. So you think he asked your name because you're pretty?
No. I never said my name. And then when it was time to pay, he's like, Alessia, you could just insert here. And it didn't click right away. And then like, I think like 3 seconds later, I'm like,
You're like, Alessia to you. Like,
I was like, oh my God, he knows who I am. But like, how weird is that? I'm sorry.
Very
Even if you
weird.
know who somebody is, please.
You don't
Maybe
say.
it slipped. I don't know. But I was just like,
you know,
I
that-
left there
well,
and my
maybe
friend
it's
who was
your-
waiting.
I was about to say you were wearing a name tag. I just realized you have a name necklace.
You think so?
No, you have it in cursive writing. You probably couldn't even read what it said.
Yeah, and I was wearing something. Not usual.
Sandwich
but...
guy, if you're listening. Also, CA guy. There's a lot of workers in this that are getting involved.
Shit.
We bring everyone down with us, by the way.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit creepy. But he was cute, so like...
It's allowed. It passes. But like...
You know what I mean?
But now you're going through every single one of your followers and you're saying, which one matches the description? Tall, dark hair.
I'm pretty sure if I read in Josh, though, on,
true.
you know,
have his
Instagram.
name. Well, how did you get his name?
There's only gonna... Because he was talking to the girl, and she was like, Josh, do you mind getting her sandwich?
Okay, well, now that I got more information, who's the creepy one here? You that's eavesdropping on this.
I'm not eavesdropping. I'm there. I'm waiting on my steak sandwich.
You guys both said, thank you, Josh. Thank you, Alessia.
Oh my God.
We both didn't introduce ourselves.
I don't normally get along with Josh's, but nice to meet you. Actually, speaking of which, I just feel like now anyone I talk to, like, it can be the same name as my ex-boyfriend. It just can't be. And it just so happens that the one guy I'm like clicking with right now on like Raya and stuff, his name is Josh. So like, I don't really,
like I said,
I don't know how that works. Like,
well, honestly,
it's tough.
Tough cookie. But also I feel like being I feel like if somebody
Do you
dated
know what I
me-
mean? Like, imagine like,
yeah,
you're just like single again and you have to go date another David. Like, it's weird.
give me that look. Don't bring me into this now. I'm getting in trouble.
But it is. It's
No,
like,
but
I can't take him
find it-
serious.
I find it would be weirder to be the one with the same name as the ex. Like if somebody dated me and was like, "Oh, my ex was named Veronica," I'd be like, "I don't like this." Like,
Yeah.
now what? Now you're thinking of her when you say my name? No, not allowed.
Yeah.
Absolutely not allowed. I'm changing my name yesterday. Like, what the fuck? But what did I want to say to the name thing? Barnacles?
Now I'm like, wow, was it my name necklace?
No, definitely not.
I didn't even
He probably
think of that.
it's actually what? I don't think it was your name.
But
necklace.
I was
If he was
wearing a
looking down, he was looking at your
mask and
tits.
like, I just came back from Toronto because I just can't stay in the city. Apparently,
it's out of control.
it's out of control, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm very tired. And every week I say like, this is the week I'm actually staying here. Like, I need a week to just, you know, put on a face mask, watch a movie, not go out, just relax. It hasn't been happening.
Get over my breakup.
Get over my breakup. It hasn't been happening for me, and sometimes I will say that I have to learn to stay in, and I've said this before, but it's affecting me over the long run of like missing sleep and all this stuff. And yeah, so this was actually the one week I was like, I'm traveling a lot this month. I'm going to Vegas this week actually coming up, and then I'm doing New York for Halloween. So that week before, I was gonna, you know, chill, stay in, and then my friends were like, let's do Toronto. And I was like, I think my problem is, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, I have a hard time saying no to activities because I could be an introvert, but I'm also very outgoing, and I like to be with friends, and I could like spend 4 days with people.
I don't think you're an introvert at all, actually.
I could be though. Like, I actually do enjoy being alone.
Yeah.
When you're never at home and you're always out, you get used to it, and then
1,000,000%.
it becomes kind of harder to be alone.
Yeah.
But every time I'm out, I'm like, wow, I wish I stayed in, or I didn't go clubbing on the Friday, considering I was going to Toronto the next day. Like, I wish I would have taken that time, but it's like I have this like FOMO lately where I'm like, I don't want to miss out on anything. And I don't know if it comes with like being single now, but I just feel like every opportunity I don't want to miss. And
I think it is a single thing too, though.
is it?
Because when you're like in a relationship, even though you like, I'm the type of person like I love doing activities, like I'll be at every single thing. But if I don't want to do something, because there's times where I want to do things and times where I don't really want to do it, but the thing that would push me there is my FOMO. I know that it's like, okay, well, I could chill with my boyfriend and be happy and have a good time and do like just chill, and I'll still be satisfied and happy.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like when you're single, it's like, okay, either this fun thing that I don't really feel like doing because I'm tired, or I'm sitting at home and I'm watching, everyone else
I think
have
that's
fun.
what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm like kind of juggling
It's like
that.
you don't have that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I feel like once you're that single friend, like everyone feels like they can hit you up and you're like the yes man.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to disappoint everyone because you're that fun,
You
single
branded
girl.
yourself now.
I rebranded, So
Bangs. There's
So,
nothing else to
so I'm
the
struggling with
rebranding.
that. So I was like, you know what? I told everyone I was that annoying girl who said like I'm 60% in, but there's like that 40% chance that I don't end up coming. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up. Like, why is this a math equation? Like, are you coming or not? And I'm like, I'm in. Like, just like that. I'm in. And I was leaning more towards no. So I end up going on this trip and I went with 4 friends, different personalities, get in the car, road trip. Here we go. Do you like road trips?
Depends, the length.
The idea of them always seems so fun. We're going to be in the car. We're going to gossip. We're going to laugh. But
like the funness of a road trip, it lasts it lasts a solid 2 hours. And then maybe like the next 2 hours are like, okay. Anything after that is like, don't like. Once you start hitting like the truck, like the third stop on the way and you're just going out in your sandals with your socks in between the toes, like then you're like, fuck, I hate it.
Lately also, I've been hearing from a lot of my friends that they've been saying like, Alessia's life lately just seems so fun. Like I feel like she's like doing everything. She's really living her life. And I want you guys to know that yes, I'm having fun, but also there's a part of it that's not fun and it's exhausting. So I'm waiting for my Prince Charming now. I'm ready to give this life up. No, I'm just kidding.
How
but
long
I
did it
just
last,
mean
guys? 2 weeks.
Don't get fooled by social media because there are times where it's not as fun as people think. And I just want to clarify that because I think people can get so like, my life is boring and Alessia's doing all this shit. But even doing this, like even doing Vegas this week, I don't want to be bratty, but like I'm exhausted and I would really turn that down to stay in and just fucking chill this weekend.
Yeah.
Not to say I'm not grateful. It's
no, but 100%. Like I know what you mean. It's really easy to get like exhausted, and I'm getting the same comments except everybody's saying like, "Hey, this girl, she just has so many jobs." Like everywhere I go, people are like, "Holy fuck!" Like you just never stop working, and I'm like, you know what? I think I would prefer to switch to the you never stop traveling. Like I think I'll do a little switch there.
Yeah. So I'm doing this trip with a girlfriend and a couple of other people. It's kind of like a work trip, but also fun. Like, I mean, it's Vegas, so it'll be kind of both. And anyway, so back to Toronto. So we're going on this trip and we're kind of like, okay, we're just going to get a hotel, whatever, in Yorkville, something not super expensive because we're going there to be out. We're not going to be in the hotel for long. And then we're the type, we're going to get on the road. We have no fucking hotel booked and we're just going to figure it out. And I think it's, there's no Nancy in the group that's like, okay, guys, I'm not getting in the car to go do this without a hotel book. Like, let's figure it out. And we're just so all the same, on the same vibe of like, we'll figure it out. And we get in the car and then the person I'm talking to, who I've met before, like, anyway, was like, who you coming down with? I'm like, my 4 friends. And they were like, did you book your hotel yet? And I was like, no, we didn't actually. We're going to do it on the way. He goes, how many rooms do you need? So now guys, picture this. You're already laughing.
Like, which credit card is it passing on?
We're all laughing. We're gossiping. Now it starts going, wait, guys, I think we're getting our hotel for free. And there's no better feeling on a road trip than hearing those 4 words. Getting our hotel free.
I guess we'll let it slide.
It's always more exciting when something is free. I'm sorry. Anyone come at me like, fuck off.
Oh no, 1,000,000%. Food tastes better free.
Food tastes better free and vodka too. So basically books us a hotel for me and my 4 friends. So it's like nothing's better at this point. Everyone's super happy because everyone's saving money now. And the hotel we were going to book versus the hotel we got was like insane. And some people are just like that. They're like, you're coming into my city. Like, let me just treat you guys. Like, no problem.
Not treat you, but like take care of you.
Yeah. And I was just so, the trip that I was like uncertain about doing was just like a really fun trip. And a lot of things were just like handled. And I don't know, it was just so fucking fun. And I feel like there's nothing more fun than being able to do it with friends, because sometimes you feel like even when I went to New York and I went to meet a guy, like there's obviously that pressure of like, if it doesn't go well, there's a lot of not acting, but you want the trip to be really good, but there's a lot of energy you have to put in.
Yeah.
When you're not actually going with somebody and you get a hotel for free, it's like you could be yourself, order room service, and fucking chill.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I just want to say that. And Drake was in Toronto that weekend. I met him from far.
We met everybody, didn't we?
We saw everybody. But it's just like, it was crazy because the club was not, it was a new club in Toronto and it wasn't that packed. And seeing Drake from like not far and not like a lot of people being in the club, it's like, wow, he's that close. Like he's that accessible. Crazy.
I think it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, that being from Montreal, we have this idea, and I'm not meaning this in a negative way. In Montreal, I feel like we have this idea because we're from a small city, and when we like, I feel like we think everything is just at arm's reach. Like,
so I feel the opposite.
Okay, but listen to my point of view, okay? Like, I find when we, and I mean this in the way where when we see like a celebrity like Drake and stuff, because it's so uncommon for us to like run into these people, we're like, wow, like it's so, like we feel like the opportunity is so close. Like, what if I just meet him and then we kiss and then we're famous? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we play through these conclusions, like what if I meet him and like what could happen from there? Like there's all these opportunities and stuff, and like that's how we see it because we're not used to being in this like area where it's so common. And then I see like very often like on my TikTok, like people from LA will like post stuff about like in clubs and stuff, and they're like, you know, they talk about like people that they see in every club and like which celebrities are like the whores and like everyone sleeps with them and stuff. And it's like, you realize that for people that are like living in different places, like for example, Toronto is another one. Like probably everyone in Toronto has seen Drake in a club. Like they're so like desensitized, like they don't care. It's just another time seeing Drake in the club. But for us, we see him there and we go, is this me almost meeting Drake? Like, did we almost have a child? And I feel like, especially in LA, like people are so desensitized. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen this person. This person is at the club all the time. They're nothing special. Like, and you realize,
but that's why
like,
I don't get why you said everyone in Montreal is like arm's length. I feel like we think the opposite.
I'm saying when we're in those situations, we feel like it's like, I'm about to be like,
oh, right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like when we see a celebrity, we're like, oh my God, what could come from this? Whereas I look on, like I'm saying, I get all my information from TikTok, but it's like people talk a lot about like all these like desperate influencers in LA who are like always trying to get in. I'm like, you know what? It's funny how we think we see a celebrity and we're like, wow, like,
or we see an influencer and we think they're so accomplished.
Yeah, automatically think like, okay, what could happen if I would meet them? What would happen if we would become friends? Like, we think there's like this whole future behind this interaction that may or may not happen, when in reality, like it's actually nothing, because there's people like my point is, in LA, celebrities everywhere, but it doesn't change anyone else's life because they're seeing him in the club every weekend. But it's like, we have this sense that it's like we see DJ Khaled and we're going, am I about to be famous? Like, am I about to be the next it girl?
I mean, I think the thing about me right now, and I don't want to talk negatively about Montreal, but I just feel like Montreal is a little bit of a trap. I feel like when I'm in Montreal too much, my goals are not achievable. Yeah. And it sounds a little weird. And it's not like we're from a small town or whatever. I just feel like once I get out, I'm like, wow, there's so much to the world and so many other things that could happen. Do you get a bit what I'm saying?
Yeah. In a business perspective, it's like Montreal, like people will always say, like really rich people, like people that are coming from Toronto, Vancouver, for them, like the rich, like for example, like the rich you could be, or the successful actually is a better word. The most successful you can be in Montreal is like just not the same as in other cities, like bigger cities like Toronto, like even just Toronto or Vancouver, like not even going to New York, but it's just like what you can achieve here, whereas there is very different.
I mean, technically you could achieve anything you want anywhere. 100%. But I think, let's say, for example, we're podcasters now. Like, there's only so long. Yes, we can make it out of Montreal, but like, if we're not going to outsource at some point or like kind of travel for this, then how big could we possibly get?
It's more like the the
For what-
opportunities.
Let's say like you want to be in music. Like
Yeah.
how much can you make it in Montreal without
Exactly.
traveling and getting out of the city?
Exactly.
Or
We do have a lot of opportunities here in Montreal. I just think there's like almost like a cap.
Yeah.
And I think like people's goals and dreams are like different. Like it's weird. And one thing that I actually realized in Montreal in the creative industry, so like even for us, like podcasters, music, photographers, like rappers, everything in Montreal, even actors, like just to go into acting as well, everything is like based around like the French market.
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, in acting, I get every day so many roles in French, but like I'm not going to do something in French. Or like we have all these like big podcast, we could say competitors or other podcasters in Montreal that are big and like way bigger than us and stuff, but they're in French. And then it's like we have all these like influencers and like cool people, but they all speak French. So it's like it's almost like
that's exactly
like,
what I was trying to say.
We're in this like part where we're
even if we wanted to interview somebody who made it big from Montreal, it's like I find a lot more
obstacles
to come by.
Yeah.
So
and it's like it's like two different.
It's annoying a bit sometimes.
Yeah. It's a lot like our English industry. Like I said, in podcasting and acting and everything and influencing, whatever it is, it's like we're from Montreal, like this small industry of people that are almost trying to compete with everyone in Toronto.
Yeah.
It's like with acting, for example, they'll cast for a role in Montreal and Toronto. There's probably 10,000 way more English actors in Toronto that are maybe more successful, more this, more that. And we're like a few here. And it's like always that competition in between what's, you know what I mean? Like the available talent. So it's like, it's interesting, which I feel like it can be to your benefit sometimes. Like for us, like, you know, we're an English podcast in Montreal and like that's been to our advantage as well because we're kind of like, you know what I mean? Like there's not as many English podcasts in Montreal and it's like English actors in Montreal. There's not as many. So you have less competition, but then there's also less room to grow. So it's very like,
yeah.
I was thinking the whole thing about like how we think, okay, or like you see a celebrity and you're like, wow, like it's so accessible. Like, oh my God, like what could happen?
Wasn't even like, okay, it was cool to see Drake.
I'm not talking about Drake.
But just to say it was cool to see Drake just because like that really doesn't ever really happen in Montreal.
Yeah. How many times you see a like celebrity or like
I just feel like even just being in Toronto, we'd have so many more opportunities to, you know, podcasts, have guests that are English, that go with our vibe. So I'm not saying we got to take this podcast on the road, but
I'm not saying pack your bags.
I'm not saying we need to go on tour. But if anyone has a bus
Who's
and want to
unscrewing
lend
the
it to
signs?
us, imagine we put the sign on the bus. We're like, Chemical X is on tour.
Let me tell you what kind of bus it's going to be. I'm going to be calling the CA guy and saying, can you move those apples?
100%.
You got room for 2 more?
Can you call the CA because we have 2 flat tires? Oh my gosh.
I'm sweating. I don't know who asked me to do this podcast in a blanket, but anyways.
Anyway.
So we have an event. Like, I'm glad I got this one podcast to show that I actually somewhat have a life. Even though, you know, it's not great.
I mean, Veronica, I don't know if it was selling your life.
Besides the club part, I don't know if I put in the best
The UPS
life.
sounded like you were a loser at the door waiting for a package, and then you
flat
chased
tire.
down the guy at the gas station going to a Thanksgiving dinner.
I mean, my moral of the story is like I'm happy I had something to talk about because I heard Vegas and I heard New York and sounding like I got my episode and I'll be writing notes for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'll be back to you guys with an update.
I don't know what to say other than...
I know what to say. I take donations in car formats only. Any car companies want to sponsor us? The CA guy's going, yes,
honestly, any car companies want to sponsor us, any clothing companies, we could do Loco. If we're going to talk a bunch of shit about Montreal and, you know, make it to our cap, let's at least, you know.
I don't think we're allowed to ask for local sponsors after we just roasted the city.
We just fucking said we hate this city.
Honestly, my conclusion will be I have been to a lot of cities in the world and I still love Montreal, but and I loved it.
I
so
love it
much
as a home base to come back after a
Yes.
trip and then
Yes.
leave again.
But like you get like when I finally came back from my trip and when I was on like all my traveling, I really appreciated it so much. And like I came back and I was so excited and I was like, wow, we have such an amazing city. But then like obviously you get used to it and then
I think we appreciate a lot of good things that are here, like, you know, just being like a cultural
yeah,
city, but I don't know.
whatever.
Traveling will do that to you. Gives you the bug. I don't know if that's a thing,
It's
but
not turning on again.
anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and leave a comment. Tell us anything. Say hi. See you next week.